Welcome back to another episode here on the Eternal Sith Network, where you get all your Star Wars news. Today we have some awesome information from the Bad Batch's Episode 5 Season 2, and it didn't miss a beat. Let's talk about it, get into it. But before we do start, remember, hit the subscribe, like, and notification bell so you're always in the know on everything Star Wars here on the Eternal Sith Network. Once you're done watching this video, go check out my last one. Give it a thumbs up as you watch. Let's start the show. So after seeing season 2 of the Bad Batch's episode 5, I feel like it didn't disappoint at all. Now, it's not the episode that we were, probably hoping for or were expecting, but you can't get mad. I mean, look, we had Andor, we had to get Starkiller's helmet, we had little Easter eggs like that, and this one didn't disappoint, and I'll tell you why. There's a couple references that you definitely probably missed out on, and we're going to get into it here. Now, let's talk about the first thing of Jedi Fallen Order that we roughly get midway through the episode in the Bad Batch, right? And now we see they get attacked and separated by this creature that ends up being a Nydak, which lived on planet Dathomir, and we got to see that, right, in the game of Fallen Order. But let's get a little bit into what happened in the story. Before they were able to be defeated, we saw, them throwing it off of the large mechanical creature that we will talk about in just a few, which they find themselves on. Now, the creature is difficult to beat, with it being large and able to move about very, very fast and climb basically all over. Now, like I said before, it's called a Nydak, and it looks very similar to the one that we saw in Fallen Order back in 2019. And again, we saw them on Dathomir and the ruins of the planet too, where it was the apex predator. Now, Cal Kestis would encounter both the alpha and lesser variants when visiting the planet to locate also the Zeffo tomb of Khajet and kill them. It does seem, though, that the species is also found on the planet or planets in the Kaldar Trinary system, which has had its surface raised and turned into ruins, as we did see in the episode. It's similar to the surface of Dathomir, which is pretty interesting and makes it the perfect environment for the Nydak. It's very aggressive towards the Bad Batch, seemingly unhappy towards the group as it's disturbed its peace, and we don't know how long this planet has been like this for, but again, Phee had brought it up. That's why they went to that planet, to look for something that can possibly help them, gain more credits. But it's interesting to see how they're making these references to Jedi Fallen Order with this character, or shall I say with this creature. And I really love it because if you think about it, well, we'll talk about that at the end on how we're getting a lot of connections to the Jedi Fallen Order. But let's talk about the other one. Now, Phee reveals that this character called Skaranal traces back to the ancients older than the Jedi. Now, she tells them that the treasure that they're looking for is the heart of the mountain, and they align the symbols in the right pattern on the wall to enter more inside of the mountain. Now, it does turn out that it ends up being a trap, that they keep looking basically for another way out because they get separated. Now, let's talk about how similar this is to Fallen Order, and the reason why we're talking about this creature that they end up coming across as well that they're in ends up being very similar to the Zeffo that we got in Jedi Fallen Order. Now, it seems like their technology endures even to the dark times of the Empire's reign in state of stasis reactivated by the Bad Batch, and it seems that it gets triggered once they find like this variant of a Kyber crystal, and the use of such crystals implies that these beings use the Force in some way, and the planet in the Kaldar Trinary system is stalked by creatures that may well have been shaped by the dark side, as we saw with that Nydak. Now, I have to say, they're doing a really good job in tying in Jedi Fallen Order and the Bad Batch, because for Season 1, you had Braca, which they went to see Captain Rex on, and that's another tie, again, to Jedi Fallen Order. Now you have this episode with the Nydak that we got to see Cal Kestis go up against, and also the Zeffo, but this was more like a mechanical Zeffo that was probably used at some point in time. As you see, the planet is in ruins and must have, again, there must have been some sort of uprising or some sort of, war that went out a long, long time ago, as we do hear Phee talk about how they are older than the Jedi and, more like from the ancient times. Now, when you think of that, you think of the Jedi Order, the Old Republic, those type of times. I mean, this is this is very key. I mean, this to me, I don't really get High Republic kind of vibes. I'm getting, stuff even before, like I said, the Jedi Order, things in that nature, and that's something that we know that Dave Filoni likes to explore. His older, his EU stuff, legends, the lore, and everything, and it could possibly be that they're making a connection to Fallen Order with that, and that's something that we might even learn with the ties in Jedi Survivor, with having this kind of like ancient Sith in the actual video game. So I'm wondering if, maybe this has a tie to that, and it has some sort of big connection and reveal that we'll get in Jedi Survivor. So that's why, again, you have to take these things with caution, because they definitely have more meaning that we probably even expect or know. And it just proves the theory all the more that at some point in time, Cal Kestis is definitely going to come in, when we have no idea. But I really have a feeling it's going to be animation at some point, because there's too many references to Jedi Fallen Order, again, with the Zeffo and the Nydak, and seeing Braca in season 1 of the Bad Batch, I think is very, very key. I like that they're really tying this into the old times, in the ancient times, like Phee was saying, how she connected it. I really like that, because if Star Wars can really dive deep into this type of allure of Star Wars, that opens up, Pandora's box for Dave Filoni to explore that realm, and, give us more content on things that are older than the Jedi that I would love to explore. And that's something I've been dying to see Star Wars really, handle and take over with that. But comment down below, let me know what you think about today's news in the connection to Jedi Fallen Order, and possibly, maybe, getting Cal Kestis in animation, and seeing, them expand on Star Wars's lore and legends of the Jedi Order, or even before that. But anyway, guys, remember, for more Star Wars content, hit the subscribe, like, and notification bell so you're always in the know here on the Eternal Sith Network, as I have another video tomorrow. And remember, the Eternal Sith, then, now, forever. Later, guys.